Why would they change math? Math is math.
okay,
Math
Dad.
is math.
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is for May 29th, 2024. My name's Bertie Burns, sitting right over there. She understands the new math. Ashley Burns, say hi to Ash, everybody.
We've got it figured out. 1 + 1 = pi.
Whatever you want it to equal, I guess. You know.
Delicious.
I was.
Delicious pie. Oh,
we did
the fin.
We did the link dump yesterday where we linked to the clip of the Rooster Teeth podcast where we talked about teriology. 8 years ago, we talked about this.
A long time ago.
Yeah, and so I also said I've been podcasting for like 10 or 12 years is what I said yesterday. I went and looked it up. My first podcast was back in 2008, which if straight on the calendar is 16 years. I did have a break in there, Ashley. I took a break to refresh myself.
A short hiatus, as it were.
Yeah.
But that's still a lot of podcasting.
Yeah. So not 16 years in a row, but yeah, I've been doing this stuff for 16 years. Too long.
A lot of math, though. You know what?
Half of that was teriology.
Here's what's weird, though, is math really does change, or the way people learn things does change. We're not into algebra or anything yet with Finn, but I've already encountered a way that they've...
He's not even in kindergarten yet. Yeah, we're not into algebra yet.
way that they've changed learning since I was in school. And specifically, this is to do with letters. So when I was in school, we learned by rote memorization, right? A, B, C, D. You look at the letter, you say A, and then over time you recognize that that shape is A. Now, what they're doing here, at least, is they've changed it more phonetic. So you look at the letter A and you say, this is A, or this is B. So what you're learning is the sound that shape makes. And so you can connect it to the fact that it is the letter named B at some point, but really what they're learning is the sounding out of words almost as the foundation for learning letters instead of learning the A, B, C, D, etc.
Have you ever seen the thing where they have a new way that they present written passages? It's like the way they present the typography where they bold part of the word and not the other part of the word. And it makes you read so much faster. I
think I have seen that, yes. And there's also some other weird fashions. They've dropped the double space.
Yes, yeah. And also, have you ever seen the one where they get all the letters in the word are correct and the first and the last letter are in the right place, and then it doesn't matter what the middle letters are at all, and you can read at normal speed.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy that your brain will just take those letters and go, those letters make words.
It's way easier for us to put an example of this in the link dump than it is to try to explain it here. And so people who normally have trouble with the written word holding their attention, they love this. And for some reason, it just works. I don't know why.
It's fascinating. There's also a new development where there's dyslexic specific fonts where they change the shape or height of some of the letters very specifically, and it helps dyslexic people read the letters in order. Yeah, it is cool, the developments that they've been making just all across the board in how people learn and in ways to make it more natural, how to make it make more sense. Here's another thing that just makes sense.
Can I say real quick before you move on to that though, real quick? When we put the link to the clip of that RT podcast from 8 years ago, we were talking about teriology. We should have told people to sort the comments by new because the default algorithm is just relevant and people tend to vote down the wild comments.
Which sometimes are the most relevant to that particular discussion, right?
A lot of times when you see a headline or a video, you're even the comments will say, I ran straight to the comments to see what people were saying about this. And a lot of times the controversial stuff gets downvoted, even though really that's what people are there to see.
Right. I mean, that's one of the reasons I think that social media has become kind of weird, right? Is because people engage more actively with things that make them upset.
Elon Musk said it out loud. He said at one point.
Did he?
He said something like, Twitter makes you angry and Instagram makes you sad. Which is better? It's they both sound terrible.
How about no?
Yeah.
Do we have to choose just one?
Yeah. What are the evil sins I want to indulge in today?
Right. So does
envy or wrath? Which one?
Or I'm going to do Netflix and pick sloth.
Just sit there. I'm just gonna sit there on my couch. I love that even Netflix now, they spend billions of dollars a year on productions. And now even they have a warning. It's like, hey, man, are you really watching this stuff still?
And you can just say, don't ask me that again. Just play.
What am I even here for? Did you read about the new Jennifer Lopez series that's on there?
Yeah. It's called Atlas, I think. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. The only thing that I really heard about it was a single headline that summed up everything I needed to know. And it went something like Jennifer Lopez's Atlas on Netflix is the newest movie that you'll half watch while folding your laundry.
Wow. I mean, it's just like...
And I thought, okay, I know what I need to know about that film.
Well, she's in kind of like a crazy negative news cycle lately. Like that thing's getting bashed. Her album sales and her concert sales, ticket sales weren't doing that great. Then I just read this article that came out yesterday in the New York Post where they were saying that, let me look it up here. They said she's now in danger of losing her $90 million Las Vegas residency. I didn't even know she had that. She's in danger of losing that because of low ticket sales and album sales.
There's also loads of gossip about whether her relationship is working out or whether it's not. You never know.
Yeah, it was. I think we talked about it before, that she was reaching like the infinity gauntlet of divorces. She's going to be up to like 6 divorces or something like that. It's just like, at what point are you just like, I'm just not going to get married again?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't followed Jennifer Lopez all that closely. She's never been like the star that I keep my eyes on. But just the same,
That's
seem
fair.
like it's been a rough year for her news-wise. You're right.
Right. I don't think she's going to win Times Person of the Year along with Adolf Hitler and Taylor Swift. She won't be in the same category as Hitler and Swift.
Maybe 2025.
You know, there's some negatives. I got to say, there's negative stuff going on right now with Taylor Swift, though, too.
Is there?
I got to be careful here.
Okay.
Like, the hairs on the back of my neck just stood up, where it's like I said negative and Taylor Swift in the same sentence.
All the Swifties turned their heads to look at you.
Yeah, I know. Just the Swifties, calm down. I think we can all agree K-pop's the real problem. we were going to do, years ago, we were going to do a bit where we gave each other, on the RT podcast, we were going to give each other's Twitter account and allow someone else to make one tweet on your account.
Oh my God, that's
and
so
how
dangerous.
much
That
damage?
is so dangerous.
How much damage could you do with one tweet? It couldn't be something like truly offensive or racist or something like that. And what I was going to do, I had in my back pocket, was I was going to do just one tweet from somebody's account, like Gavin or Gus or Barbara, saying, "Hey, we all realize that K-pop's just a big goof, right?" That would have been awful. But actually,
that's a life ruiner right there.
I got to say, I hate to tell you this.
Go ahead.
We might be reaching a point as a society where you and I might have to sit down as a family and decide, are we a Taylor Swift household or are we a Billie Eilish household?
Ooh, are they going to war?
There's been some negative stuff going back and forth. Like Taylor Swift is now, the narrative that's out there. You know, the media, Ashley. The media is reporting that Taylor Swift now is doing this thing where she'll put out releases, like all these like reduxes and re-recordings that she's doing, or compilations. She'll put out these releases when another young artist has a new album coming out to try to suppress. Ashley, that's the narrative. Suppress. Trying to suppress them.
Interesting. I had not heard about that.
Like say you're a big country like Germany, you want to suppress. ...
Times Person of the Year.
It's all coming together. So, and then there was even this thing where Billie Eilish had a new album coming out, which is great, by the way. We've been listening to it. We haven't talked a lot about the music stuff. Like Childish Gambino had a new album too.
Was it a new album or was it, you referred to it as a patch for an album?
I was kind of repeating a joke that I read on social media where someone said, this dude is putting out a patch update for an album. And it was the Childish Gambino new album, Ada Vista, came out a few weeks ago. Maybe almost a month ago now, but it's Childish Gambino has released a new album called Ada Vista, which is a reimagined version of his 2020 album, 3/15/20. The new album includes 2 additional songs and coincides with the announcement of an international tour dates for later this year. So it's a promotional thing.
So bringing it all back, it's like Taylor's version for Childish Gambino.
There you go. Exactly right. And so Billie Eilish had a new album, and supposedly what I was reading at the time was that like a day or two before the Apple Music rankings came out, her album was pulled from Apple Music because Taylor Swift had put out something and was going to rank above it, or that was the conspiracy or something like that, pulled the album from Apple Music. So we got to decide soon. What are we, Ash? Are we a Swift household or are we a Billie Eilish household?
I mean, think we're an Eilish household.
Yeah, we are. I'm glad we're on the same page. That's great.
Oh, thank God we're on the same side of this war.
Nothing against Taylor Swift. Nothing against her. Nothing against her. She seems like a lovely young lady. ... And we don't even know where she is. We can't track her jet anymore. She could be
on her
outside
way
the
here
door
right now. Well, Bernie, speaking of other things that we can't see, did you know the UK is running out of ghosts?
What? What does that mean?
I'm going to read you a little headline here. The UK is running out of ghosts as old spirits are dying off.
Oh, so you're saying ghosts? You're saying ghosts?
I'm saying ghosts.
Okay.
Yes. Ghosts, like boo ghosts. This is from the Daily Star, the most reputable of stars. That Dr. Paul Lee believes the UK's, Bernie?
Dr. Paul Lee. Doctor of what?
Ghosts. The UK's spectral heritage is in serious decline. Many ghosts have become dormant or moved on. He says, since 2020, I've been contacting all the reportedly haunted locations on my app. And we're talking about like the most haunted places in the world, Bernie. We're talking about Conisbrough Castle in South Yorkshire, Eddington Park Hotel in Stratford, and, Bernie, the Fortnum and Mason store.
I think we
in
all
Piccadilly.
know those places and how haunted they are. That's how I know all those places.
And he's saying that they haven't experienced anything in the last few years. So, Bernie, the ghosts.
Oh, shit.
The ghosts, they're just gone. They're just moving on.
COVID ruined everything.
And no. Do you think ghosts can get COVID?
We're never vaccinated.
Yeah, so but apparently all the ghosts are moving on. The ghosts are dying, and no one is replacing the ghosts.
Oh, really? So explain this to me. If all the ghosts, the older ghosts, are leaving, people are still dying all the time. So where are the new ghosts?
No one wants to work anymore.
Ashley, do you know how expensive it is to buy a house to haunt in this market?
In this economy?
You can't do it.
Do you have any idea how much chains cost?
We can't afford chains to rattle. Cost of living. Avocado ghosts. Listen, I don't know who is weighing in on the ghost debate, but if the ghosts are leaving and there's no new ghosts coming in, that's a crisis.
Well, you know what, though? I'm really just seeing this as another opportunity for industry automation, right? Like, you know what? We don't need ghosts. We'll just get AI ghosts.
Oh, the AI can replace all the ghosts. We can automate that job sector as well.
Right. We can go ahead. We just go down the checkbox. Like, would you like me to rattle the dishes in the kitchen? Check. Yes, I would like that. Would you like me to draw on your mirrors? Check. You can get the exact haunting that you want, Bernie, down to your exact specifications.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, do you think that you would make a good ghost?
I think I could make a pretty good ghost, especially if I focused on being helpful and entertaining. A mix of friendly guidance and a bit of fun mischief could make for an interesting ghostly presence.
Would you rather be a friendly ghost than a mean ghost? Can you be like a haunty ghost?
I think being a friendly ghost with a bit of a haunting edge could be fun. I could still have some spooky moments, but overall be more of a playful and helpful presence. Balancing the two could make for an interesting ghostly experience.
You know, Chad, I just want to point out that Casper was a friendly ghost, and Casper was the lowest grossing Memorial Day movie before Furiosa.
That's an interesting connection. It seems like being a friendly ghost might not always guarantee box office success.
All right, thanks, Chad.
You're welcome.
All right, that's
If you have any more
ChatGPT.
questions.
That's it. The AI, they're going to take all of our jobs, even our ghost haunting jobs. They're all gone.
Well, here's the good news, Bernie. If you can't afford a ghost of your own, why not get haunted by some cicadas?
Oh, this is such a weird year. So there's
Such
a
a
rise
weird
on
year.
cicadas, right?
Yeah, so this is going to be a weird year for a lot of people. So cicadas are a weird thing. They are born, they burrow into the ground, they live there for 13 or 17 years.
Oh, that's the dream.
And then they surface, they get wings, they fly around and make a ton of noise, they have a bunch of babies, and then they die. This year, the 13 and the 17-year cicadas are both coming out of the ground the same year. So it's going to be billions of cicadas, trillions of cicadas.
13 and 17 year cicadas. So I'm trying to do the math on this. So that's 4 years apart. But then if you're gaining 4 years every iteration, how do you get to 13? That's a long time.
Do you know how long it is? It's 221 years. So that's how long it will be before this happens again.
So the last time it happened was what? The early 1800s, like 1803 or something like that?
Something like that.
Wow. Oh, so there was a good chance we could have not been alive for this. And yet here we are.
Here we are.
2024. Hey, in case you just don't have enough going on in 2024, here's cicadas that only happen every 220 years. Dear Lord. You know what else I read? I read an article that because of climate change, the UK is going to get 50 days of rain in the summer this year.
Well, maybe that's why all the ghosts left.
They're all vacationing in Spain for the summer. That's where they went.
Maybe they lost their visas in
Like,
Brexit.
fuck this spiritual heritage. I'm going to go and get some sun. So there's floods, there's cicadas. We have pestilence going on. I have been paying attention to the outbreak in the U.S. I just haven't said anything about it, but I'm watching you, American dairy cows. I'm watching you.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the horsemen are saddling up.
Yeah, all we need at this point would be a war. Uh-oh. We already have like 8 of them going on at one time.
Pick one.
God damn, dude. Yeah, what a fucking year. And then now there's all this conspiracy about, have you read about like Project 2025?
I've heard about
in America
it, but
for next year?
If I'm honest, I'm doing my best not to follow it too closely.
Yeah, it's like you might be reading a lot about that in mid-November. You might decide that's some required reading at this point.
Should be paying attention.
Yeah, but that's for the
fair
future.
enough.
Yeah. What a crazy year, man. What a crazy year 2024 is turning out to be.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Bernie, things that we may not see again in our lifetime. Star Citizen.
Oh, I think you're about Mad Max again. Star Citizen, the game, yeah.
Star Citizen, the game, has just passed a new milestone. Not a development milestone, mind you, but another funding milestone. They just passed $700 million in funding for that game.
$700 million? Wow. What's the budget for an average AAA game at this point?
I don't think 700 billion. I mean, maybe if you're GTA.
You said billion. It's million. 700 million, right?
Oh, yeah. $700 billion.
I'm going to say budget for GTA 5, I'm going to say.
Okay.
260 million was GTA 5.
So, whoa. So Star Citizen, it's been crowdfunding now for 10 years.
I think, by the way, I want to say, I think GTA 5 has been out, released, and making money the entire time that Star Citizen has been in crowdfunding.
Yeah.
I think that's the same window of time.
That's about right.
Yeah.
And Star Citizen is targeting, Bernie,
oh my God.
An Alpha 4 release sometime this year. There's no release date. There's no release window for 1.0. Not to say that there aren't playable parts of the game. The game does have a lot of playable elements.
Right.
It's just like, early access by another name.
We know people who have spent thousands of dollars playing this game.
We certainly do.
But I think I fall in the category, and Ashley, if I may, I think you do as well. We fall in the category of most people who we don't know anything about this game other than the story around the crowdfunding and how much money they've been raising from crowdfunding for a decade. At this point?
Honestly, like the 700 million is such an insane number. There's no other game. There's no other development story like this one. And it's starting to, I have a new theory about it. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
I think it's a kink thing.
Like OnlyFans?
Yeah, I think this
Only
is
stars.
I think this is I think this is a whole financial domination kink that a bunch of people have going on with Chris Roberts.
Okay, can you help me out here?
Maybe,
you just said financial domination. Can you clarify something for my vanilla ass sitting over here?
I will do my best.
It's never clear to me the financial domination thing. Who's being dominated? Are people paying money to, like, classically, this is a pretty girl and a dude with money, right?
Right, okay, yeah.
So let's engage in that stereotype for a moment. Is the woman being dominated because the guy's paying and he's like, I'm dominating you, and it's like, I'm in command or whatever? Or is she dominating him because she's like, give me your money?
Okay, well, this is where I'll expose my ignorance, because I can go theoretically on this. I think that it's the latter.
So the woman is the dominant one.
Like the guy wants his money to be taken?
Yeah.
Right? Like this is a consensual arrangement.
Okay, I have an article here from queerintheworld.com. Mastering the art of findom.
Ooh.
Financial domination, also known as findom. I just referred to it as that. I'm in the scene now. Is a form of BDSM activity in which the submissive gives gifts, money, and control of their finances to the financial dominant.
Okay, so yes, it is basically like a give me your lunch money situation.
Okay, yeah. It's the person who's giving money is the submissive, and the person getting the money is the dominant. That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Well,
And
makes sense.
and look, this way everyone's happy. So Daddy Chris is having a good time.
Because we had the same conversation about sugar babies on the Rooster podcast. Like the sugar daddies and the sugar babies, they're both sugar in the name.
Just different types of sugar.
But what's the sugar? Like, is the sugar the affection or is the sugar the money?
Is it both? I would think that it would be the money, right? Like if you're the sugar daddy,
You got the money.
you're the daddy providing the sugar.
See, to me, the sugar's like the kiss. Like you give me some sugar. You know what I mean? You get a little kiss.
Right. Well, maybe that's the sugar you get in return.
I see. So it's just everyone's bringing sugar to the
Everyone's
party.
bringing sugar.
It's just different kinds of sugar.
Is
I
this-
guess. One is more refined sugar. One's more raw sugar.
It's a real sweet arrangement.
And the nice thing is, if you're the dominant one, you're taking the money. Like apparently, in this day and age, you can kind of put off the affection part. You can take the money and be like,
That's on the roadmap.
yeah, oh baby, that's coming in Alpha 2.0. Give me some more money though. I need money. I got my eye on like a space cargo freighter for this one. I need some more money coming in. All right. Any more thoughts about financial domination in the world or ghosts leaving? I got to read more about the ghosts leaving. That's so ridiculous.
I love this story about the ghosts. So we're gonna have to look. Are we gonna have to start doing? Or do the ghosts need PR like the bees so that we can get our ghost populations back on the rise?
I think you're right. I think just people are like, it's the old school trades and no one wants to learn them, you know? And they just like, it's going to be lost to time like everything else. All right. Well, anything else anyone to thank for today's podcast?
Yes. I would like to thank MC Whitney and to Medikite for sponsoring this episode of Morning Somewhere. Thank you both for being sponsors of our show on patreon.com/morningsomewhere.
Thank you both for your completely consensual donation to this podcast. Pucker up, buttercups. All right. Well, that does it for us today.
Boy, does it.
We will be back to talk to you tomorrow.
Come on, you. Cough up a bucket, cheap bastard.
We hope you all will be here as well.